Good shit, yo.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Squills here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be telling you guys how to get out of every single rank in Siege, no matter where you are. If you're feeling a little rank stuck, this video is definitely going to help you, so make sure you guys go down and drop a like before we begin. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to be grouping a lot of these lower ranks into one group because generally there's very little distinction between some of those ranks. Once you get lower, it's just like, you know, people get slightly better aim or something like that. But anyways, let's get right into it. So all the way from, I would say, pretty much copper into low silver, it's just all about the fundamentals. Now, you know, a lot of these people either don't take the game too seriously, or they're missing some like really key parts that make up a good Siege player. So number one, do you know all the maps? Like, can you get around them from knowledge? And do you know all the calls for like all the rooms? You don't have to be able to get super specific, but just the basic calls and knowing the maps. So if you don't know that, obviously learn that. That's a big part and a big stepping stone in learning Siege. And then also aim is very, very important. It's kind of hard to build game sense, at least, you know, in terms of knowing the habits of the players in this rank. It's generally just people do whatever. So building your aim is just going to be a definitely good skill that you can apply everywhere. And then also, because I said that, you know, a lot of people play in different ways and, you know, do things that you're not going to expect, make sure that you stay on top of your intel game. If you don't play a lot of operators like, say, Yana or Zero, or now Flores has been added into the mix, and then on defense you don't really use ops like Valkyrie or Maestro, or even like non-intel ops, that could possibly give you intel, like something like a Legion. Definitely start picking those ops up a lot more, because those are operators that work really well in low ranks, because getting intel is something that is super, super important in reading the situation and getting the drop on people that a lot of players in these ranks don't use very much at all. So now moving on to high silver and low gold. And again, a lot of people who are in silver, who are really looking to make that push into gold, you know, they think there's such a big difference. And this is one of the secrets of Siege, that a lot of people, especially those who have their mindset really, really hard on achieving a rank, like if you're in high silver and you really, really want to hit gold 3, or you're in gold 1 and you really, really want to hit plat 3, a lot of people think there's a huge difference between gold 1 and plat 3, or silver 1 and gold 3, and there's really not. Very, very little difference, like once you get into one, or from one to the other, or stuff like that. But there's really not that many things that it comes down to. So a lot of times I'm just going to be grouping things like high silver and low gold in there, because there's not super, super big difference that you see once you go from the ranks. These are really just arbitrary numbers that we're talking about. So for high silver and low gold, start developing confidence and basic consistency. Like, not, you know, what I'm saying is don't drop donuts in terms of, you know, consistency. So if your aim is getting there and you feel like you have better aim than other people, but you still can't drop kills, or maybe your aim is feeling a little off and you're really having a bad game, like you're dropping a donut, you're not playing smart generally. So as a rule of thumb, if your aim is good, you're not getting kills, or you're just having a bad day and you're not getting any kills to begin with, just tone down your aggressiveness, use more drones and more cams, get more intel for yourself, and you'll find yourself making a lot more smart plays just based off the fact that you have intel, and maybe your opponent doesn't. But the more intel you have in the situation, the more ability that you have to make a smarter play. A lot of times the stupid plays and the bad mistakes that you make are from a lack of intel. You don't know where the enemy is, and so you just do something that makes no sense, because how could you know that it's wrong when you don't know the enemies are in a position to punish you? So just in generally, if you're having a bad game, if you're in a slump, drone a lot more, use a lot more cams, pick those ops like Legion, Valkyrie, Zero, you know, Yana, all those people, and keep going about it. So for high gold and low plat, again, a lot of the same stuff, but the things that you see here that you don't see in a lot of other ranks is a lot of egos and a lot of really, really bad attitudes and mindsets, and a lot a lot of these people are, unlike the other lower ranks, they get a lot more serious about the game, and so they start worrying a super. It becomes like a big part of their attitude towards the game is like your MMR, your rank. And like I said before, these are just like arbitrary numbers we're talking about. Like what delineates gold 1 and plat 3 is one number. If you're one elo above that number, you're plat 3. If you're one elo below 3200, you're in gold 1. And obviously, nobody is stupid enough to think the 2 elo means a difference in a player's skill. But people don't internalize that, you know what I mean? So people get huge egos as soon as they hit plat 3, and although it is a big milestone, it's definitely not something that you should get an ego about. And this is where you start to see a lot of blaming teammates, and a lot of people stop improving. Like you'll see the hard stuck gold or the hard stuck plat. This is because they stop improving. They think that they've made it. Look, gold 3 or gold 1 and plat 3, these are good ranks. Like you're above average player, but this is no means the top, and definitely should not stop improving. So as long as you have a mindset still towards improving and not just ranking up or not just getting more MMR, if you're still focused on improving, it puts you above a lot of other players in these ranks as far as improving and continuing to ranking up. But so I would just say learning to just stop getting frustrated, learning to blame yourself, not blame the game. I mean, I'll have times even myself when I'll know I make a mistake, I acknowledge you make a mistake, and after, I die or whatever, I'll still say, make the call out, I'll acknowledge my mistake, and I'll say, this game sucks. Which is very frustrating, and it's kind of a stupid thing to say, because even though you acknowledge you made a mistake, I still say, this game sucks. When it's not the game's fault, clearly, and I acknowledge that. But things like that will just make you frustrated. Like, just learn to accept your mistake, learn from it, and move on. Just kind of chill out, and continue to make good comms, support your teammates, and play with confidence. The worst thing you could do is have your playing bad make you get more aggressive or make you play in a way that's going to make you more frustrated. If anything, you should slow down, drone more, and try to play smarter. But a lot of people dying early or getting frustrated will have the opposite effect on them, which is definitely not productive in terms of improving as a player. So my final category is going to be mid-plat. I can't really speak too much to high-plat. As far as I know, high-plat and diamond are fairly similar because there's so few people in those upper ranks that a lot of times they just get grouped together. So basically, as soon as you hit upper plat 2 and plat 1, you're going to be playing with pros and champs. So, I'm starting to get into that range, so I guess I'm going to wish myself and everybody up there a good luck when I end up playing against Bolo, but that's beside the point. And this is where it starts to get into learning how to deal with people that are just really good at the game. And the thing you have to know is that once you start getting into mid-plat, you're going to start playing with players with and against who have really put the whole picture together, who have fantastic aim, and they're really smart, and they just do things that you feel helpless. And this happens in some other ranks, especially, in gold, if you encounter a Smurf, or still in plat as well. When you encounter just an X diamond, or someone who has that diamond charm, or even a champion charm I've seen, that you just feel like, I can't beat this guy, he's just too good, and they go around, they swing everything, and they play super aggressive, and they kill you, and you feel like you can't do anything, really, and it is very frustrating, because, you feel like you're being cheated out of elo, out of winning the game, because this guy is just simply too good. And so learning to deal with that frustration and come up with ways of beating these people. There are a lot of people with incredible aim, especially once you get to these higher ranks and you start seeing the peaks of how good people's aim can get. And so learning to deal with these players, again, I come back to this. It's such an important part of Siege, but just using your drones more, using your cams more, getting better intel, and making smart decisions based off that intel is so important, and it'll help you win a lot of gunfights. And it just comes down to the fact that a lot of times it's not aim that will win you gunfights. So many things, or so many gunfights will come down to two people who are waiting for each other to peek, and it's not the person that hits the better shot, but it's the person with the better crosshair placement, the person that's exposing less of their body, the person that, you know, if you're peeking and you peek right, the person holding the angle can feel helpless. If you're peeking and the guy's holding a really good or tight angle, the person peeking can feel helpless. And so it's these feelings of like when you lose a gunfight and you feel like you were hopeless, you couldn't win that. What was the other guy doing that made it that way? You know, if you're a defender and you're holding an angle and a guy just peeks really, really fast and you're just dead and you couldn't even react to the person before you were dead, you know, watch your kill cam. How did he kill you? Was his crosshair lined up right where your head was about to be before he peeked? Well, that's why he won that gunfight. If you're peeking somebody and you peek them and you can only see a sliver of their head before you die, what angle was that guy holding? How was he positioning himself? And think about that in your own games. Like, if you're holding an angle, hold the angle that exposes the least part of your body while giving yourself a really good chance to kill the other person. You know, a lot of people, they'll have like a desk or a, you know, table right in front of them that gives them perfectly good cover, but they'll still be standing up. Like, why would you be standing up? You could be doing like a head glitch. Like, the opponent would really only be able to see your head, but instead you're standing up and exposing your entire torso and you know, your chest. Like, things like that. They seem like small mistakes, but really they can mean the difference in a lot of gunfights more than aim. Things like that, just taking those into account and fixing the minor details like the micro positioning, like stuff I just talked about, is really a lot of times what separates the mid-plat from the high-plat and the coveted diamond. So now just to go over some general tips. Of course, everybody says this in all their tip videos, but they only say it because it's important. And I know for myself, I know it's like only the beginning of the season when I'm recording this, and I've played 10 placement matches on my main account, where I've been extremely selective about who I play with and only like stacking on it. My main account after 10 placements is in like very high plat 2. And whereas my alt that I solo queue on mostly is in like gold 2. So big difference between when you stack with people that you really trust and when you just kind of solo queue and do whatever. So yeah, make sure you try to find people that you enjoy playing with and that are good and that can help you get to those higher ranks, because it will make a huge difference in your MMR. Solo queue is good for improving a lot of times, working on your own individual skill and not relying on others. But it's not good for much else. You're definitely not going to rank up the most efficiently playing by yourself. I've talked a little bit about aim. Aim is always an important thing in all ranks, and improving your aim. It's not the most important thing, but if you're feeling stuck and you don't know what to improve and you feel like you're putting a lot of the other pieces to the puzzle together and getting better at this game, aim is always something that you can improve. Play more T-Hunt, get an aim trainer. I have an entire video based on aim. And magical things will happen. If your aim gets a lot better, it is very hard for you not to improve. Because aim, of course, this is a first-person shooter, and it will, I don't want to say rescue you, but it will get you out of a lot of bad situations where you shouldn't win a gunfight, but you just hit the better shot, so you win. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. This is going to be one of my longer videos, but this has a lot of tips and a lot of my general experience wrapped up into it, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. First tip video in a while, first really video ever in a while. I've been a lot of focusing on myself and competitive and stuff, so if you guys want to see videos on that, those of you that still watch my channel, make sure to drop that in the comments and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a bit, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.